video is sponsored by HelloFresh.
In this video, I want to talk about having a realistic approach to staying productive, and these are 5 tips that changed my life.
I am an independent adult, meaning I work for myself and live by myself. This requires me to balance various aspects of my life all at once, all the time, such as giving talks, doing shoots, running a home, going to events, meeting people, socializing, traveling. It can be a lot, but at the same time, I want to do it all. Throughout the years, I have built up productivity systems and tools that have helped me manage my life better and bring out the best in me. The goal here is not to be perfect and productive all the time, because at the end of the day, we are human beings and that's just not realistic. The goal here is to cultivate a life that brings out the best in you, and that will look different to everyone.
The first tip is figuring out your why. I would say this is probably the most important thing, because your why is what's going to motivate you. There are going to be times where you don't want to show up for yourself. You don't want to work. You don't want to socialize. You don't want to cook. You don't want to do life admin. And the only thing that will kind of get you through that is the motivation behind it. So it's really important that you really sit down and figure out why are you doing or want to do these things, because that's the thing that's going to push you through those times. For me, I think I have 2 major whys. The first one is a personal reason. I want to become someone that would make younger me proud. So I want to be the best version of myself I can possibly be. And then the second reason is a health reason, and it's that I needed balance in my life. This is something that I've always struggled with. It got to a point where I was not in a good, healthy mental state, and I was like, you know what? I think I might need to change the way I do things. And every time I don't want to do something, I just have to remember that. And it really does make me show up for myself. Let me know what your why is, because I'd really be interested to know what people's motivations are. I find that really interesting, and maybe I might adopt some of them. Figuring out your why takes a lot of introspection. You really have to look at your life and be really honest with yourself and be like, okay, what's working, what's not working, and how do you cultivate a life that brings out the best in you? Now, naturally in life, there are going to be things that you really enjoy doing and things that you don't enjoy doing. But part of being a human in a functional society is you have to do all the things. You have to work, do all the domestic home stuff. You have to do life admin, which is like the worst thing ever. To exercise, you have to eat. You have to do all these different things all the time. And if you're someone like me who lives a self-sufficient, independent life, you have to do every single one of those things for yourself every single day. It's real fun. In some aspects, I've been really good in the sense that I genuinely enjoy working and I love my job. But where I fall short is I feel like I put too much energy in one aspect of my life, and I was very much in hustle culture, girl boss mode, being a strong independent woman and all of that kind of terminology. I was very driven in that aspect, and it led me to a lot of success. But because I was just so focused on this one area, I pretty much neglected every other area of my life. Like, I did not socialize. I didn't invest in the relationships in my life. I isolated myself a lot. My sleep was bad. My diet was bad. I had really poor mental health, and I based all of my worth on how productive I was and whether my work was giving me success. That's a very slippery slope, and it never ends well. So for me, what I really needed was balance to manage all aspects of my life. And in the past year, that's exactly what I've been doing. I feel like now I am showing up for myself in so many different areas, and the impact it's had on my life is insane. I feel like now I live life with so much more ease, and things just naturally flow. So once you've come up with your why, you need to have a plan. The first thing I think of when I think of a plan is, what are my priorities? Because you're not going to be able to give everything your full focus. You only have a certain amount of hours in a day. So you need to come up with a list of what are your priorities and what's the most important that you're going to invest a lot of time in, and what's the least. If you make a mental note of that or write it down somewhere, it's just good to know what your priorities are and be very clear with that, because that's what's going to help you navigate your day-to-day life. So for me, I would say one of my biggest priorities is my job, is my work. Now, what's changed for me is, I think in the past, socializing and investing in the relationships in my life was a lot lower in my priority, because I put so much time in just building a career. By the end of it, I'd be so depleted that I didn't have enough time and energy to truly invest in the people in my life. And that's changed. Now I do that way more, and as a result, it's improved my mental health, it's improved just my enjoyment of life, and it's also led to other opportunities. Again, let me know what your priorities are in life, in what order, if you feel comfortable sharing in the comment section below, because I would be very much interested to know that. Now, in terms of planning and organizing your life, This is gonna look different to everyone, but these are the things that I do. First things first is having a calendar. Now, I cannot believe I went so long in my career not having a calendar. Like, I honestly don't know how I did that. Now I very much have a calendar, and my next few months are like planned out. Not every single day, but like I know what I'm gonna be doing in November. In the past, my life was literally a series of tight, short deadlines. I only would look as far as like the next deadline. So I'd be like, okay, I gotta do this. And then as soon as that's done, it's gotta do that, do that, do that. And it was just such a crazy way to live life. And that's probably why I wasn't able to plan time for socializing, because I lived my days, like I lived according to my days, not like in advance planning. And I don't think that's great. I personally would highly recommend everyone has a calendar and schedules things in advance so that you're not stressed all the time. Have a calendar. Please, just have a calendar. It will change your life, or at least it changed mine. And I find it crazy that I didn't have one before. Another thing that's really helped me is having a space for particular things. Your environment makes such a big difference with your mind. So personally, I work from home, right? And I think a lot of people these days work from home. In the past, my bedroom, which is where you sleep and rest, was also my workspace. And there was just no distinction to it all. Whereas now in this current flat, my bedroom is very minimalistic. It's literally just a bed, a mirror, and my wardrobes. There's nothing else. It's literally a place just to rest and sleep. Actually, having that separate space to just shut off makes such a big difference. The layout of this flat is very minimalistic. Like, everything is organized, everything has a space, everything's in its place. Like, even my kitchen, I like to keep it quite empty. I'm someone who has a lot of thoughts all the time. Like, my head is very chaotic, so I need my physical outside external space to be relatively empty and calm. Otherwise, I would just get very overwhelmed. If you have less things, it just makes it a lot easier to manage. And the third one, which has been the biggest lesson for me, is delegating tasks. Now, I don't know if this one's gonna be relevant to everyone, but as someone who is self-employed and I work for myself, in the past, I would do everything by myself. I kind of had a control issue, and I wasn't very good at letting go of control and trusting that someone else could help me out. But realistically, that was holding me back. At the end of the day, I was doing like 5 people's jobs in one. And I'm not even particularly good at all these tasks, but I was like, they gotta get done, so I have to do them all. What that was doing is it was taking away all my time and energy and just depleting me. It just wasn't good for my mental health. At the end of the day, we are human beings and we can't do it all. And sometimes it's good to delegate that task to someone who can do it better. And also that will alleviate some of the stress and give you more time to focus on other areas of life. It sounds weird, but sometimes giving away some of your control and delegating to someone else can be a productive move, because it might give you the time and energy to basically show up better in your job and focus on other areas that could lead to more opportunities and growth, which is what happened with me. Ironically, it probably created more work for me, but it's like good, because it means I'm able to do all the things that I want to do. At the end of the day, I'm someone who, I want to do lots of things. I want to be able to work and travel, make friends, socialize, be independent. Like, I want to do it all. And sometimes in order to achieve those things to the best of your ability, you need to kind of delegate some of those tasks so it like frees up some brain space. The third tip is discipline. Now, there's no getting out of this one. It's as simple as you just have to do it. You just got to do it. There's no other way around it. There's no life hack to this. There's no easy process to this. You just have to show up for yourself time and time again. Now, I will say the more you show up for yourself, the easier it becomes. And the thing that's really helped me in this is learning to enjoy the process. Because at the end of the day, you could do all these things, but if you're not enjoying it, then that means you're not enjoying life. And who wants to go through life constantly doing random things but not even enjoying any of it? It's important that you not only show up for yourself, but you also learn to enjoy not just the result, but the things and the journey along the way, like the growth and the learning and the lessons you get from it. Personally, I quite enjoy the journey part of it, so I don't have a particular result. For me, I genuinely enjoy what I do, and I genuinely enjoy traveling, learning about people, things, putting myself out of my comfort zone. Like, the process of it all and learning more about myself along the way is the fun part for me, which makes it a lot easier for me to show up for myself, because I want to know what I'm capable of, who I am, what I can and can't do, and why I think the way I do and what can I improve and how can I get better. Those are things that I very much enjoy, so it makes it a lot easier to show up for myself. I feel like I show up really well for myself in certain areas of my life, like work and socializing and meeting people and traveling, but I'm really bad when it comes to things like life admin and diet and exercise. And one thing I've had to learn is that that's okay. It's okay if you're not showing up 100% fully perfect in every aspect of your life. I think we need to be disciplined, but we also need to give ourselves a lot of compassion. And it's like, okay, if I'm not able to show up for myself 100%, what is it that's I'm struggling with here, and how do I counteract it?
This video is sponsored by HelloFresh, which I am so grateful for because it means I don't have to think about my meals for the next week. Which brings me on to my next tip, which is make your life easier. One of the things I realized that really helped with my productivity is if there are tasks that you don't particularly enjoy or don't come to you easily or are quite stressful for you, so for me it's things like exercise and cooking, find ways and tools that can make those tasks easier. For me, I find cooking quite stressful, especially if I had a really long working day. The last thing I want to do is come to the kitchen and then have to think about what I'm going to eat and then prep it and plan it and then cook it and then wash it, and it's just a lot of mental load that I personally struggle with, which is why I'm so grateful for services like HelloFresh, where they basically take the mental load off your plate. HelloFresh is the world's leading subscription-based meal kit company. They provide everything you need to cook delicious meals at home straight to your door. The box comes with step-by-step recipe guides. You can select your weekly recipes, modify the servings per recipe, and even choose a delivery time convenient to you. And of course, pause or cancel the subscription at any time. You get fresh ingredients from suppliers selected by HelloFresh. So this week I have my meals prepared by HelloFresh. I've got my recipe card, creamy curried cauliflower soup, lovely stuff, butternut squash korma style curry. And what I'm gonna make now, because I'm absolutely starving, is yellow Thai veggie noodle soup. And what's amazing about it is that they give you all the ingredients to the T. You only use what you need and nothing goes to waste, which is perfect for someone like me who lives alone. I feel like supermarkets don't cater for single households. I end up doing my food shop, but I end up buying way more than I need, and then that increases food wastage, which is something that I'm really conscious of. So the fact that they give you everything you need with the exact ingredient amount is just amazing. It means I don't have to think about what to do with the leftovers. It's like I just use what I need. It's quick and easy. It tells me everything I need to do, and I just don't have to think. Sometimes it's just nice not having to think, but also get the job done. This looks stunning. It also smells really good. Oh my God, this is so good. That is so nice. This is so comforting and warm and flavorful. It's got vegetables in it, which we love. This literally took me 20 minutes to make, and it looks so good. If you're like me and you are constantly doing things and your work days are all over the place and you find cooking and feeding yourself quite stressful, cannot recommend enough. Game changer. Services like HelloFresh is a great solution for me because the thing I struggle with is the mental load. They take out the mental load and the food wastage, and I get to eat lovely home-cooked meals. If you would like to try HelloFresh, then click the link in my description box and use my code HelloTaz to use my discount available worldwide. You can also scan the QR code here. I think I just turned my hob on.
It's very important that you, first of all, understand what your needs are and then tailor the tasks and lifestyle to you. For example, for me, I don't have a traditional 9-to-5 job. I work for myself and my work schedule varies massively. Sometimes I could be on a shoot for a few days. Other days I could be filming a video for myself or editing or producing or traveling, going to work events. It varies so much that there's no way I can put that in a typical 9-to-5 routine. So there's no point in me trying to even try to do that because it's just not going to work for me. I very much understand that and tailor my calendar and my schedule to a way that works best for me to bring out the best results for me. There's no one style fits all. It's mainly about really understanding who you are and what works best for you and then tailoring it to your lifestyle. Now, the fourth tip is implementing balance. When you have lots of different things that you focus your energy on, if one of them goes down for whatever reason, because that's life, it doesn't make you question your worth as a human because you still have other areas that are keeping you afloat. Whereas before, I just focused on my job. So when I wasn't doing good at that, I was I I just felt so bad. I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. I was like a complete failure as a human, which is obviously not true because as humans, we have so much more worth than that. But I didn't understand that before. And now that I put my energy into different areas, like a social life, it's quite nice to have a social life now. It's kind of crazy. I feel like my life is so much more enriched and fulfilled now that I have made this aspect of my life a priority. You can be independent and also rely on people. And that's something I didn't always understand. But now that I have built a really strong support network, I'm like, whoa, I've been missing out on all this. This is crazy. It allows you to have a life that's so much more fulfilling and enriched and just happier. And like, I feel like happiness should be a very high priority. It wasn't always for me, but now it is. And I am very happy and grateful for my life, which is great. We love having good mental health. It's just great. And tip number 5, which is one that I really had to learn, is that resting is productive. I think sometimes when we think of productivity, we just think of actively doing actions all the time. But at the same time, we are not machines, we are human beings. And as human beings, we need to invest in ourselves and our mental health and just like rest so that we have energy to show up in other areas of our lives. These days, I very much am okay with just resting. I think it's very important to listen to your body and hear what it's saying and feel what it's saying. And if it's saying you need to rest, then rest. Scientifically speaking, taking naps is really good for you. It's really good for your brain. If your body is telling you to take a nap, listen to it. Because after you take that nap, you're gonna feel more rested, which means you're gonna show up for yourself way better than if you didn't take that nap. The key to productivity is taking naps. There you go, that's all you need to know. I take naps all the time, it's great. So productive. And the second part to this is reflect. So rest and reflect. Now you could be doing all these tips and doing all these actions, but if you're not reflecting on any of it, you can't really grow that much. Because you're just doing actions, but you don't understand why you're doing those actions and what you're trying to get from those actions, and are you learning anything along the way? Kind of like checking in with yourself of like, okay, am I meeting my whys? Am I being the best version of myself right now? Or do I need to change anything to get there? I think being introspective and reflecting on everything is how you grow and learn your lessons. And there's so many different ways to do this, and everyone's gonna be different in how they approach this. I know people do meditation, journaling, exercise. For me personally, I think I use poetry as my dedicated time to really reflect and put my thoughts into feelings and concepts and words, and that's how I process everything. Another thing I do is I have conversations with people. I love having conversations and thinking about things and breaking things down, and I'm very fortunate that I have people in my life that I'm able to have such a variety of conversations with for so many different areas, whether that's emotional conversations or work conversations, healing, therapy, mental health conversations. Like there's so many different areas, and I have different people that can talk about different things too, and it allows me to process and reflect and grow. And we love that. So yeah, that's how I stay productive and the different tools I do to get there. I hope this video has helped. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you lots. Please know they matter, and I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.